This week's videos are sponsored by Lolo Body Care, earth-friendly, reusable, biodegradable, recyclable skincare products for fiber artists just like you. I use several of Lolo Body Care's products every single day. In the morning after my shower, I use the Lolo Body Bar to keep moisture locked in all day long without any greasy residue. Before I put my socks on, I use O for Feet's Sake to keep the soles of my feet happy and healthy. And before bed, the moisturizing face pudding rejuvenates my skin overnight so I wake up with a face that feels refreshed. New to Lolo Body Care? Try their Go-Go with Lolo package. Stuffed with sustainable, green, perfectly scented products, this on-the-go pouch has everything you need for your next retreat, road trip, or just to keep in the car for those unexpected go moments. And if you love subscription boxes, try the Dynamic Duo box. Each box features artisan handcrafted soap and Lolo to-go bar. Choose your scents and they will be mailed to you automatically every month or every other month. Sign up for 6 consecutive subscriptions and receive the 7th free. The 7th even includes shipping. Lolo Body Care's line of handmade products is made with you and the earth in mind. To learn more, visit the links in the video description box below. Hello and welcome to the Spargur Yarn Crafts channel. My name is WSpargur. I am your host. I am coming to you from Henderson, Nevada, where I live with my 2 dogs, Princess and Duchess, my roommate Delilah, and her dog Duke. And this is what I'm going to call the September podcast because I have been so ridiculously busy that I have not been able to film, and you're going to be able to see that throughout this week's videos. As you saw at the beginning of this video, we do have a sponsor, and I want to thank Lolo Body Care so much for sponsoring this week's videos. Lolo Body Care has some amazing skin products that are all eco-friendly and biodegradable, and not only great for your skin, but also great for the planet, and I do use them every day. So, if you are new, thank you so much for coming to the channel and checking out this video. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. It really does mean the world to me. And this video is all about my works in progress that I currently have going, and I have 3 projects that I'm going to show you, one of which you've seen recently, one of which you have never seen at all, and one that has been kind of on the back burner for a little bit. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. The first project I'm going to show you is the one you haven't seen yet, and you'll probably recognize what the project is because it's kind of all the rage right now, but I'm almost done. I am making one of those pocket shawls, but I have added a hood to mine, so it just drapes. I haven't added the pockets yet, that's why this is still a work in progress. And then nice little hood for it, just like that. And yeah, it's really nice and comfy. This is Red Heart Hygge fur, which is something I found at Joann's, I believe. Yes, Joann's. And so that's going to be your main color in here, but as you'll notice, there's kind of a bit of a gradient going through. It might be a little hard to see with having a white wall behind me, but you can kind of see there's like some white and slowly gets darker and lighter. It's some kind of acrylic or polyester mohair deal. It was something from Hobby Lobby that my mom sent to me. Oh, now I can't remember what it's called. It's something about it's a gradient something or other. Anyway, it's a thin kind of fingering weight, lace weight, mohair-ish you know, faux mohair type deal. And I just held it double with a 10mm hook. And I actually did get the pocket shawl pattern that everyone's kind of going nuts about. But instead of doing the exact pattern, because you weren't going to be able to see it with this yarn, I just did open mesh work. It's double crochet chain 1. That's all I did. And then the edges are 6 rows of half double crochet. And it's 158 stitches across. And I still gotta weave in my ends. But I think I did this in a weekend, on and off. I was working on some other stuff too. Didn't take very long. It's pretty wide. I want to do another one of these, but I want to make it wider so that it comes a little bit further down my back. I like the width, but I want the... Wait, no, I like the length. I want the width to be more. And I've got plenty of yarn to try that with. I actually did go to Michael's, and I may or may not have bought 4 of the anniversary cakes. And I would show them to you, but they're in the bottom of a laundry basket because I promised myself I would not buy yarn I knew I was not going to use or didn't really have an idea for a project for. And I broke that rule a lot in the last 2 months. So now I've got yarn on shelves, yarn in laundry baskets, and I have been making things left and right to try and use up this yarn. I made baskets to put my yarn in, and then after I started making baskets, I was like, oh, this is really fun. You know what would make this even more fun is if I took a bunch of t-shirts that I wasn't going to wear anymore, and I made t-shirt yarn and started making baskets out of those. So not only did I use yarn and buy yarn, I made yarn. What am I doing? Anyway, long story short is I have a lot of yarn, and I did not dig out any of my new purchases because they're at the bottom of some new piles of yarn. So the anniversary cakes are some of those new purchases. I did use coupons. I think I got them all for like 20 or 30% off, so I didn't pay full price for them. Anyway, this is really fun. I like the fur, but at the same time, this was really hard to use. It's really hard to see the stitches. So I am going to use one of the anniversary cakes to design something similar. Maybe probably, again, a little bit wider. The second one is one that we have not seen in a while. And that is my sweater. Ooh, so pretty. Ooh. Okay, so I thought this would end up being a little small. So I went ahead and blocked the body before I started the sleeve. And I was right. It is a little small. Which is kind of sad, but I've also gained a little weight. So it's not bad. Because it's not as wide as I need it to be. When I was done with what I thought was the right length, it does pull up. Now it's still long enough to be wearable, and that's not a problem. It's a little shorter than I thought it should be. So this is all stockinette US 7 needles, which is, what are the millimeters? I try to do both now. 4.5 millimeter. And then I did 1x1 ribbing on the bottom and the super stretchy bind off. I love the color variations. I love how the hand-dyed aspect just makes it look that much more handmade. And I love the handmade look of this. So what I'm going to do, I've started this sleeve. I'm actually going to do a short sleeve. So right now it comes down to about where my sleeve is currently. I'm going to do about another inch, and then I'm going to do 1 inch of ribbing, and it's going to be a short sleeve sweater. And I'll do the same on the other side. And then I will pick up around the collar here, and I'm going to do a 1 inch ribbing V-neck around the collar, and I'm going to call this done. Mainly, well, there's 2 reasons. One, because it's short sleeve, so I can kind of, here in Vegas, I'll be able to wear it a little bit more. than I would if it was long sleeve. And also, I have another sweater that I really, really want to get to, and that's the Namu sweater by Knit Boop. And I have that yarn set aside, and I've had it actually set aside since the pattern was released and since I dyed kits for that pattern. So I want to get to knitting that one. It would be my first cabled sweater project, but it'll also be the first time knitting with my own non-superwash base. And I've got, it's going to be done, the bottom half is going to be in navy, and the top half, I think, is going to be in my depths colorway, but there may be a thin purple stripe, because, again, being a bigger person, I'm a 48-inch chest. Being a bigger person, I'm going to need, I think it's like 7 skeins of my yarn, and right now I've got 4 in the navy and 2 in depths, so I'm going to need 1 more skein. And I don't have any more of my non-superwash base to dye, and 2, all of my other non-superwash skeins are not dyed in those 2 colorways. They're in similar colorways, lighter purples or lighter blues. So I'm going to kind of have to figure out how I want to structure the color of the sweater. But we'll see. I think I'm also going to make that one short sleeve, just because short sleeve seems to work better here in the desert. So I think that's what we're going to do. But yes, this, once I really sat down and just took the time to finish it, it didn't take that long, which is what happens with all of my sweaters. I get tired of knitting them, I set them aside, and then I'm like, I really should finish that, and I just sit down and work on it, and it really doesn't take as long as I thought. So I'm really glad that I got to the sleeve. I'm going to try and finish this sleeve today, and then I'll move on to the other sleeve. I should have this done hopefully in a week or so. And my last work in progress. You guys like my ponytail? I'm still really bad at putting my hair up. I have no idea what I'm doing. I also have 3 barrettes because my hair from the front is still not long enough to make it into the ponytail. But I hate it when it hangs all around my face. We are headed towards that Viking braid, which we did try braiding it at Knit Night the other day. Knit Night is back on, but we all have to wear masks, and there can't be more than 8 people in the shop, I think. But yeah. Okay. My last work in progress that I want to show is my star flanket. Now, this, you're not going to be able to kind of get the full idea here, only because the needle I'm using is not that big around. But I did finish all of the center star, and I am working on the stripes in the middle. Now, the pattern has this going in stockinette garter, stockinette garter. I didn't want to do that. I just wanted to knit all the way around, so that's what I'm doing. And I realized that the 2 yarns that I'm using to stripe actually kind of blend together in real life. You can actually see it a little bit better here on the camera, but in real life, they actually blend together really well, and it's hard to see the stripes. Now, there's supposed to be 11 stripes in this section, and I'm on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I have to finish the 5th and 6th row of stripe number 9, and then I just have 2 more stripes to go, and then I'll be moving on to the brioche section. So the pattern is written for DK weight, and I am doing this in fingering weight with a bunch of just leftover fingering weight skeins. Not even leftovers. I think I just pulled out a bunch of fingering weight skeins. I pulled out some test skeins from my dye studio, some yarn mops, things that I used to soak up extra dye, and just some skeins that I had purchased for other things that didn't end up getting done, or things that I got from Knit Crate. Actually, I think there's 2 Knit Crate yarns in here. Yeah. And just kind of put them all together. So I'm doing it in fingering weight on US 5s. I believe the pattern is written for DK weight on US 7s, so this will be more of a lap blanket. It won't fit a bed, but I'm okay with that. This project was more about using yarn than it was about making the full-size blanket. And as much as I love this pattern, I do not love how difficult it is to pick up the stitches and knit around this star. Because of the harsh direction changes, getting this around the needle for about the first 10 rows after picking up the stitches is pretty much a nightmare. It's ridiculously difficult. I didn't like doing it. Now, that might be because I'm a tight knitter. I have seen videos of Stephen West knitting. He knits continental and he knits very loose. This was probably not that difficult for him to do. Me, being an English style knitter and knitting relatively with a tight gauge, this was not fun. In fact, it still doesn't want to move around the needle as seamlessly as I would like. I do have to stop and push, pull, push, pull to get everything around as I'm knitting, but it gets easier as you go on and as the piece gets wider. So yeah, those are my 3 works in progress for this week. Tomorrow's video is going to be finished objects. I actually don't know how long that video is going to end up being because, again, I've been really busy. I've been working on patterns, I've been working on designs, I've been working on amigurumis, I have been trying a lot of new things, playing with a lot of hooks, because I've gotten a couple of new hooks. I did a trade with somebody, so I've gotten some new hooks, so I've been playing with those. Some new yarns, so I've been playing with those. There's quite a bit in the finished object video, and I'm really excited to show that to you. So thank you so much for joining me. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and hit that little notification bell so you can get notifications every time I upload a video. And if you are new, check the video description box below for Lolo Body Care links, as well as all of the links to my social medias and other things as well. That's all in the video description box below. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you next time here on the Spargur Yarn Crafts channel. Thanks. Bye.